So we shall have a recap of this Carnot cycle. Okay, as you know that source is a body which is maintained at very high temperature, so that you can draw the heat from the source without changing uh, the temperature of the source. Okay, even though if you draw the heat from the source, the temperature remains the same. Okay, so T1 is the temperature of the source. Next, coming to the sink. Sink is nothing but a body which is maintained at lower temperature. Okay, however, how much ever amount you give uh, to the sink, how much ever heat you give to the sink, the temperature of the sink remains constant, it doesn't changes. Okay, whatever may be the amount of heat rejected to the sink, the temperature of the sink remains the same, that is T2. Next is nothing but you have an insulated stand, and we have a cylinder. Okay, with the insulating walls. Okay, and with a conducting base. Okay, so this was the components of this Carnot cycle. So next, coming to the working of this, as you know that initially we are going to consider, let P1, V1, T1 be the pressure, volume, temperature of an ideal gas which is enclosed inside a cylinder, right? So once you place the cylinder on the source, okay, so the gas is allowed to expand. Okay, the gas is allowed to expand. So what happens, as the when the gas starts to expand, as you know that there is a drop in temperature, but since you have placed the cylinder on the source, since you have the conducting base for the cylinder, okay, that fall in temperature is compensated by the source. Okay, so when the gas starts to expand, where the temperature start to decrease, the heat flows from source to the cylinder, so that the temperature is maintained the same. Okay, so once the gas is allowed, as you know that the pressure, volume changes but the temperature remains the same, correct? So pressure, volume, temperature changes from P2 V2, from P1 to P2, V2, V1 to V2, but the temperature remains the same. So this is regarding the isothermal expansion, and the curve AB denotes the ABRP denotes the area of the isothermal expansion, right? So the work done for that comes out to be W1 is equal to Q1 is equal to integral of V2 to V1, sorry, V1 to V2, PdV is equal to RT1 log base E, V2 by V1 is equal to area ABRP. That was our equation 1. So next what we are going to do is, we are going to place the cylinder on the insulated stand. Okay, again the gas is allowed to expand. Okay, when the gas is allowed to expand, as you know that the temperature decreases. Okay, the temperature falls. So initially, before placing the cylinder on the insulated stand, this was the value of pressure, volume and temperature. So once you place the cylinder on the insulated stand and the gas is allowed to expand adiabatically, so the pressure changes from P2 to P3, volume changes from V2 to V3, whereas the temperature changes from T1 to T2. Okay, so this is regarding the adiabatic expansion. Okay, so the work done for that comes out to be as W2 is equal to integral of V2 to V1, sorry, V2 to V3, PdV is equal to R divided by gamma minus 1 into T1 minus T2. So that is nothing but equal to area BCSR. Okay, BCSR in the PV diagram denotes the work done. I mean, it represents the adiabatic expansion. Okay, so next, coming to isothermal compression. So what we are going to do again, I mean, next we are shifting that cylinder, we are placing that cylinder on the sink. Okay, and the gas is allowed to compress. Okay, so when the gas is allowed to compress, what happens, the temperature of the gas increases. Okay, so before the expansion of gas, before the gas is allowed to compress, this was the pressure value of, this was the value of pressure, volume and temperature, right? Now once you place that sink on the, I mean, once you place a cylinder on the sink and gas is allowed to compress, so what happens, the pressure changes from P3 to P4, volume changes from V3 to V4, whereas the temperature remains the same, because when the gas is compressed, there is an increase in temperature, right? That excess increase in temperature is rejected to the sink. Okay, whereas the temperature remains the same. Okay, so next what we are going to do is, since the work is done on the system, so what happens, the work done comes out to be negative. That is denoted by W3 is equal to Q2. Q2 is equal to minus integral of V3 to V4 PdV, that is nothing but equal to minus RT2 log base E. V4 by V3 is equal to RT2 log base E V3 by V4, that is nothing but equal to area CD QS. So this is the equation 3. So next finally we are placing the cylinder on the insulated stand. Okay, we are placing the cylinder on the insulated stand, and again the gas is allowed to compress adiabatically. So what happens, the pressure changes from P4 to P1, volume changes from V4 to V1, whereas the temperature drops from, I mean the temperature increases from T1 T2 to T1. Okay, since the gas is allowed to compress right on the insulated stand, so hence we say that the um, we have come back to its initial state. Okay, the system has come back to its initial state. So initial state, you know that the value of pressure, volume, temperature was P1 V1 T1, right? That is what we have achieved, I mean we have come across to the initial state. Okay, so finally the work done for this comes out to be as W4 is equal to, since the work is done on the system, so negative sign, integral of V4 to V1 PdV, that is nothing but equal to minus R divided by gamma minus 1 into T2 minus T1, that is nothing but equal to R divided by gamma minus 1 into T1 minus T2, that is nothing but equal to area dA PQ. Okay, so I think till equation 4 we just went through in the last class, right? So any doubts regarding yesterday's class? In case if you want, I mean in case if you have any doubts regarding the yesterday's class, okay, till equation 4. Okay, in case if you have any doubts you can ask. Okay, fine. So next coming to the mathematical step. Okay, so now the total work during this complete cycle. Okay, so one complete cycle from A to B, in the PV diagram you can see the system underwent isothermal expansion from A to B. From B to C it has been undergone adiabatic expansion. Similarly from C to D it has been undergone isothermal compression. From D to A it has been undergone adiabatic compression. So this is one cycle of operation. Okay, so this is one cycle of an working of a Carnot cycle. So next the total work done comes out to be as the net work done. Okay, that is W is equal to W1 plus W2 plus minus plus of minus W3 plus of minus W4. Since you know that W3 and W4 represents the isothermal compression and adiabatic compression. Since the work is done on the system, so negative sign there. But in this case, as you know that when you compare equation 2 and equation 4, okay, so just go through the equation 2 here. Equation 2 is nothing but what? That is W2 is equal to R divided by gamma minus 1 into T1 minus T2, right? Similarly, go through the equation 4. Even that is W4 is equal to R divided by gamma minus 1 into T1 minus T2. Okay, so since W2 is equal to W4, you can leave that. Okay, the left out thing will be nothing but W is equal to W1 plus of minus W3. So that comes out to be as W is equal to W is equal to W1 minus W3. Okay, correct. So now in order to calculate the efficiency of the Carnot's engine, okay, so efficiency is always expressed in terms of output divided by input. Okay, what is output? Work done by the Carnot cycle is nothing but it is the output. Input is nothing but amount of heat absorbed by the source is nothing but it is the input. Okay, so hence neta. Okay, eta. Okay, eta is nothing but this symbol is pronounced as eta. Okay, so eta represents the efficiency, that is nothing but equal to work done divided by heat absorbed from the source. So next, as you know that efficiency is equal to W by Q1. Work done is nothing but denoted by W. Heat absorbed by the source is nothing but what? It is Q1. Q1 is the amount of heat absorbed, right? So hence that is nothing but equal to W, as you know that W value comes out to be as W1 minus W3. Okay. And the value of Q1 we are going to substitute as W1, because see here in equation 1 you can see there. Okay, we have expressed W1 is nothing but equal to Q1 there. So hence the value of Q1 can be replaced by W1 there. Okay, so with that thing the equation comes out to be as efficiency is equal to W by Q1, that is nothing but equal to W1 minus W3 divided by W1. So that is nothing but equal to Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1. Okay, similarly you can see here in the equation W3, I mean in the equation 3, we have expressed W3 is equal to Q2. Okay, Q2 is what? Amount of heat rejected. Q1 is what? Amount of heat absorbed by the system. Okay, so with this thing what we are going to do is we are going to substitute the value of W1 and W3 as Q1 Q2. Okay, so hence efficiency comes out to be as Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1, or else mathematically you can write that one as efficiency is equal to 1 minus W3 divided by W1, that is nothing but equal to 1 minus Q2 divided by Q1. Okay, so our efficiency is equal to 1 minus of, okay, what is the value of Q2 and Q1? Q2 is nothing but what? It is, you can see here, RT2 log base E V3 by V4, that is the value of Q2. Coming to the value of Q1, you can see here the value of Q1 comes out to be as RT1 log base E V2 by V1. Okay, so this is the value of Q1 and Q2. So substituting the value of Q1 and Q2, you can write efficiency is equal to 1 minus RT2 log base E V3 by V4 divided by RT1 log base E V2 by V1, which is considered as equation 5. Okay, is it fine till here? So just go through neatly. Okay, fine. So next what we have done is, I hope till here it is clear, right, till equation 5. So next you can see here, since points B and C, okay, points B and C lie on the same adiabatic curve. Okay, in the PV diagram you can see BC represents the adiabatic expansion. Okay, both point B and C lies on the same adiabatic curve. Okay, so what we are going to do is, okay, so we have one more equation. Okay, we have one more equation. As I said, adiabatic equation is represented by PV to the power of gamma is equal to constant. Okay, so similarly we have one more equation, that is TV to the power of gamma is equal to constant. Okay, so even this is a equation. Okay, adiabatic equation. So this is in terms of pressure and volume, and this is in terms of temperature and volume. Okay, so this TV to the power gamma is equal to constant. Again, it is a direct equation. Okay, we have taken, so no need of deriving that. It is not in the syllabus. Okay, so don't worry about that. So we are going to take it directly. So tv to the power gamma is equal to constant. Okay, with respect to this, what we are going to do is, since you know that tv to the power of constant can be written as t1 v1 to the power of gamma is equal to t2 v2 to the power of gamma, correct? So we can write like this one, right? So hence, with this, what we have done is, just we have written this equation, t1 v2 is equal to t2 v3. You may ask that, how did you write that t1 v2 is equal to t2 v3? Okay, so see here, when you just go through the adiabatic equation, I mean adiabatic curve, you can see what is the value of pressure and volume you have there. Okay, sorry, we don't want pressure, we want temperature and volume. t1 v2 we have here at the point C, we have t2 v3. That is what we have written here. Okay, you can see here t1 v2 to the power of gamma minus 1 is equal to t2 v3 to the power of gamma minus 1. Okay, so, or that can be written as t1 divided by t2 is, that is nothing but equal to v3 divided by v2, v3 divided by v2 to the power of gamma minus 1. So this is equation 6. Okay, similarly, also the points d and a lie along the same adiabatic curve. So you can see here, in the adiabatic curve, again from d to d and a lies on the same adiabatic curve, right? So hence, you can just see here, you have the value of t2 v4 and you have t1 v1. Okay, so we will just substitute that values here. So you can see here t1 v1 to the power of gamma minus 1 is equal to t2 v4 to the power of gamma minus 1, or you can write t1 divided by t2 is equal to v4 divided by v1 to the power of gamma minus 1. Okay, so when you compare this equation 6 and equation 7, you will come to know that LHS are same. Okay, only the RHS is different. So hence you can compare the equation 6 and 7. So comparing the equation 6 and 7, you are going to get v3 divided by v2 to the power of gamma minus 1 is equal to v4 divided by v1 to the power of gamma minus 1. So gamma minus 1 on the LHS side and the gamma minus 1 on the RHS gets cancelled out. Left out thing is v3 divided by v2 is equal to v4 divided by v1, or that can be written as v3 divided by v4 is equal to v2 divided by v1. So hence you can write that, okay, that as log base e v3 divided by v4 is equal to log base e v2 divided by v1, multiply log base e on the both the sides. Okay, for this equation here, what do you have, multiply log on the both the sides, log base e, so you are going to get that one as log base e v3 by v4 is equal to log base e v2 by v1. So if this is the case, okay, if log base e v3 by v4 is equal to log base e v2 by v1, if you substitute that value in equation 5, what happens, rt1, okay, rr get cancelled out, since log base e v3 by v4 is equal to log base e v2 by v1, so get cancelled out. Okay, so hence the left out thing is 1 minus t2 by t1. Okay, so eta is equal to 1 minus t2 by t1 is the efficiency of an heat engine. Okay, so T2 is nothing but what? Temperature of the sink. T1 is nothing but what? Temperature of the source. Okay. So eta is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1 is the efficiency of an Carnot engine. Okay. So from here, okay, just go through once. In case if you have any doubts, you can ask. So here it is little bit mathematics is little bit more. Okay. You may get little bit of confusion. Just go through clearly. In case if you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, so a small correction. So when I was explaining this equation, TV to the power of gamma. Okay, I said that is TV to the power of gamma. It should be TV to the power of gamma minus 1 is equal to constant. Okay, I did not say it about that gamma minus 1. I said TV to the power gamma. Okay, so this is the equation. Okay, in an adiabatic expansion, so TV to the power of gamma minus 1 is a constant. Okay, so if this is the case, you can write this as T1 V1 to the power of minus gamma 1 is equal to T2 V2 to the power of gamma minus 1. Okay, so this is the equation. Just make a small correction. Okay. Okay. Hope that the derivation is you people have understood. So next from equation 8, there is nothing but from the equation of efficiency of a Carnot cycle, we can conclude that the efficiency of Carnot engine depends upon the temperature of the source and the sink. Okay, so always the efficiency of a Carnot engine depends upon this temperature of source and sink, that is T1 and T2. Okay, T1 and T2. So next, the efficiency of Carnot's engine is independent of the nature of the working substance. Okay, so this Carnot engine, that is the efficiency of the Carnot engine, doesn't depend upon the nature of the working substance. Okay, working substance is nothing but where the heat is converted into the work done. Okay, mechanical work where the heat is converted into mechanical work. That is the function of that working substance. The function of working substance is to convert the heat into mechanical work. Okay, so hence this efficiency of the Carnot engine is independent of the nature of the working substance. So next, efficiency of Carnot engine is 100% if the temperature T2 of the sink is 0 Kelvin. Okay, so always you know that from this equation 8 you can conclude that only if the temperature, okay, if the temperature of the sink is 0 Kelvin, okay, you are going to get the efficiency value will be nothing but equal to 1 or 100%. Okay, so the efficiency of the Carnot engine, that is a Carnot cycle, will be nothing but equal to 1 or 100% only if the temperature of the sink is nothing but equal to 0 Kelvin. What does it mean? That means that, okay, when the Carnot cycle is working, okay, whatever the amount of heat is absorbed from the source, that entire heat which is absorbed from the source should be converted into mechanical work. Okay, so but this cannot be happened. Okay, when this Carnot cycle work, what happens? When the heat is absorbed from the source, okay, only some amount of heat will be converted into mechanical work by rejecting some amount of heat to the sink. Okay, so hence you cannot we cannot say that uh, the value of T2 will be nothing but equal to 0 degree. Okay, since the some amount of heat is rejected to the sink, so the efficiency of heat engine cannot be equal to 1 or 100%. Okay, so this is regarding the conclusion of this equation 8. Okay, just go through this. Any doubts you can ask. Okay, so hence we say that the efficiency cannot be equal to 1 or 100%. Okay, so always the efficiency is lesser than 1. Okay, or 100% we say. Okay, so always the efficiency of an heat engine is not equal to 1 or 100%. It is always lesser than 1 or 100%. Okay, so efficiency of an heat engine is equal to 1 or 100%. This is the case of an ideal Carnot cycle. In the Carnot in an ideal Carnot cycle, I mean ideal Carnot heat engine, so the efficiency we say that it is nothing but equal to 1 or 100%, so that no heat will be rejected to the sink. The amount of heat rejected to the sink will be nothing but equal to 0. But in actual practice, only some part of the heat will be converted into mechanical work by rejecting some part of the heat to the sink. So hence the temperature of the sink cannot be equal to 0 Kelvin. Okay. So this is regarding the working of an Carnot engine. Is it clear? Yes, students, is it clear? Okay, fine. In case if you have any doubts regarding any of the topics from this chapter, you can just get it clarified. So hence we have completed this thermodynamics chapter theory part, and we have left out with the numericals. Any doubts regarding any of the topics from this chapter? You can ask now. Okay. Gahana, sir, will you tell 5 mark question once? Okay, fine. We will do one thing. We will just go through the concepts. Okay. All the concepts of this chapter. Just I'll name the concepts for how many marks you are going to get that concept, question or concept in your examination. Okay. The statement of zeroth law can be asked for 1 mark. Okay. Don't ask repeat once again. Okay. Just I'll share the link of this class so that you can go through once. So the statement of the zeroth law can be asked for 1 marks. Okay. And the significance of zeroth law of temperature, I mean the zeroth law of thermodynamics is asked for 1 mark. Next, quasi-static process can be asked for 1 mark. Fine. So next, first law of thermodynamics statement, it can be asked for 1 mark. In case if they ask for 2 marks, it will be statement plus mathematical equation. So next, about this isothermal, adiabatic, isochoric, isobaric, it can be asked for 2 marks. Okay, any one. So next, work done in an isothermal process and work done in an adiabatic process. Okay, it will be asked for 5 marks. Any one in this. Okay, any one you are going to get from this both derivation. Okay, in this two derivation, any one you will get. So next, yeah, we have left out with this relation between Cp minus Cv is equal to R. That is Mayer's equation. Okay, I think we have left out with a few minutes. I'll do one thing. I'll just do this in next class. Okay. So the Cp minus Cv is equal to R. It will be asked for 3 marks. Next, coming to this reversible and irreversible process. So in case if they ask the definition, it will be for 1 marks. In case if they ask the definition with example, it will be for 2 marks. So next, as you know that heat engine is not there, refrigerator is not there, directly the second law of thermodynamics. So in the second law of thermodynamics, any one statement will be asked for 1 or 2 marks. Either it can be Kelvin statement of the second law or it can be Clausius statement of second law. Next, coming to the Carnot cycle. So this is for 5 marks, the working of Carnot cycle. So you need to write till here equation 8 if they ask in your examination, starting from here. Okay, you need to say that what is source, what is sink, working substance, insulated stand. Okay, so this is regarding the chapter thermodynamics. Okay, and similarly there is a chances of asking why is this Cp is greater than Cv for 2 marks. Okay, so just go through about this. Okay, I think I have made it clear, right? Okay, fine. We will do one thing. We will just conclude today's class with this thing. In the next class, we will start with the numericals. Okay, the numericals on this chapter is also important. There is a chances of asking. Okay, so in the next class, we will just start with starting with that Mayer's equation. Okay, Cp minus Cv is equal to R. We will finish off that. Once we have done with that relation, we will just start with the numerical. Okay, so in the next class, be ready with calculators, calculator, book, pen. Okay, is it fine? Okay, with this I am just concluding today's class. Okay students, thank you.